So we've all heard of Facebook, right? 350 million active users, 55 million status updates every day, and 2.5 billion pictures uploaded each month. Yeah, that Facebook. So let's give a few facts about Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. As of 2020, he's worth $76 billion. He's the only person under 50 in the Forbes richest people list. He's the only person under 40 in the top 20 billionaires list. And he became a billionaire at the tender age of 23. But Facebook wasn't the first thing that he built. He built chat systems and games and tools to help you study and music players. Walt Disney was fired from the Kansas City Star in 1919 because his editor said that he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Steven Spielberg, one of Hollywood's greatest directors, cinematographers, and filmmakers, got rejected from film school 3 times. Walt Disney would then go on to create Mickey Mouse in 1928. He would then go on to create the Walt Disney Company, and of course, the rest is history. Steven Spielberg would go on to direct classic movies like Jurassic Park, Saving Private Ryan, and Jaws. He would also go on to win multiple Golden Globes, multiple Oscars, and once again, the rest is history. But I know what you're thinking right now. You might be thinking, well, why am I telling you these things? Am I telling you them to make you feel like you're underachieving or to make you feel bad about yourself? No, I'm telling you them because I want you to have the freedom to fail. By definition, failing means being unsuccessful at achieving your goal. Now, whether you agree or disagree, you have to fail first before you master anything. Imagine how many jumpers LeBron missed before he figured out or before he could shoot. Probably hundreds of thousands. The major problem in the world today is that people see failure as something that you should never do. Parents, teachers, and even our peers look down on us when it comes to failure, even if it was an honest mistake. I used to think that humans were optimists, but then, I realized that we're all pessimists when you really break it down. If we look at the media right now, all we see is news about the virus and how many people have passed away. But they don't show or they don't emphasize how many people have recovered. Let's look at the province of Ontario right now. As of today, there are 20,000 cases in Ontario, 14,000 people have recovered, and there have only been 1,500 deaths. In all of Canada, there have been 67,000 cases, 30,000 people recovered, and 4,500 people passed away. Worldwide, in the whole world, out of 7 billion people, there have been 4 million cases, 1.3 million people have recovered, and there have only been 275,000 deaths. Now you might look at me and say, well, that's 275,000 people that have passed away. And I'm not discounting that, I'm not pushing that to the side or anything like that. But that's 275,000 people out of 4 million confirmed cases. I mean, that seems like a pretty good ratio to me. Look, my point is that we have to be more optimistic about stuff. We have to look at the bright side of every situation, because humans right now, all we do is we look at the bad side and we say, 275,000 people pass away, the world is ending and this and that. But they don't look at the 1.3 million people that have recovered. For those that are new here, I had a previous YouTube channel where I uploaded gaming videos. We used to play NBA 2K, we used to play Call of Duty, all these other types of games. I used to upload videos, and it was my hobby at the time. Then filmmaking kind of took over, and now I'm here. If you want to call my previous YouTube channel a failure, all right, go ahead. I really don't care. Shortly after my mom passed away, I was working 3 jobs, and I left all those jobs just because they weren't for me. In the past 5 years, I've had, probably 7 jobs. And, if you want to call those failures, if you want to call those being not dedicated, I really don't care, because if something is not for me, then I'm not going to do it. And I also don't hear the outside noise. Imagine if I stayed at my first job right out of high school. I just settled for it because I was told that you shouldn't leave a job. I would still be doing the same thing every day, and I probably wouldn't have developed and grown as a person. We as a society have to get more comfortable with failure. We can't instill this fear into the younger generation, right? The world over the past 50 years has changed 100 times over. So why are we still teaching old ways into the new generation? It just doesn't really make sense to me. You know, I could drop filmmaking tomorrow and I could take up jousting if I wanted to. And I would have no problem because I don't have kids or any major obligations. You know, my advice is just do it when you're young. If you want to take the leap when you're young, just do it. But make sure you're not listening to the critics. You know, imagine if Walt Disney had listened to that person that said, you know, he had no imagination and he had no good ideas and, you know, he just went on to be a regular guy. Mickey Mouse wouldn't have been created. There would have been no Disney. There would have been no Lion King. There would have been no Lady and the Tramp. There would have been no Disney World. There would have been, you know, nothing. And the world of animation probably wouldn't be where it is today. Same thing with, you know, Steven Spielberg. Imagine if after getting rejected, he said, you know what, forget filmmaking. Like, I don't really want to do it. And then he just went on to be like an accountant or something. You know, the movie Jaws wouldn't have been made, obviously. Saving Private Ryan, one of the best like military war movies of all time, wouldn't have been made, and Hollywood probably wouldn't be where it is today. Same thing goes with Elon Musk. Imagine if Elon listened to his peers. You know, we probably wouldn't be going to Mars in the next 5 years, and electric cars probably wouldn't exist. You know, without all of his failures, his companies wouldn't exist. There's that famous story of him when him and his brother were creating PayPal. You know, PayPal was up in the day, and then in the night the website was down because they were coding. So, and they had the time to do that, right? There's the next famous quote of, I think it was either Steve Jobs or it was Bill Gates, and it said, you know, they were working 16, 17 hours a day because they were young and they didn't have any obligations, right? So, you know, go out and try things, right? Go out and fail while you're young, because it doesn't get easier as you get older. You know, life hands you responsibilities like kids and, you know, other stuff, and it's just not easy to drop everything and go when you have responsibilities and things that you have to tend to. The point of this video is to make you see that failure is just a thing that was just made up. Kind of like when people used to put importance of how popular you are or the opinion of others. You know, failure falls into that same bucket. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. You know, don't let people judge you. You do what you want. You know, me personally, after I stopped uploading videos, I got messages from people saying, oh, you know, you failed and this and that. But I didn't really care, because I uploaded videos until I got bored, and then I found something else. So, you know, it's not really a failure to me. Without the failures mentioned previously, the world would definitely be a very different place. So who knows? Maybe one of your failures will change the course of history. And as always, thanks for watching.